Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. We're about to dive into an intriguing topic, the meaning of the G in the Freemasonry Square and Compass. Specifically, we'll uncover the shocking truth behind the Masonic G in this presentation. We'll explore the history, symbolism, and mystery surrounding this emblem. So, get ready for an insightful journey into one of Freemasonry's most fascinating symbols. Let's get started. Now, let's take a closer look at the first part of our journey into Freemasonry, specifically the section titled, The Square and Compass Explained. These symbols are perhaps the most recognizable and iconic images associated with Freemasonry. They represent core principles like morality, honesty, and the importance of building a solid character. When we see the square, it reminds us to act justly and ethically, ensuring our actions are upright. The compass, on the other hand, symbolizes the importance of self-control and circumspection, keeping our passions in check and maintaining boundaries. Together, these tools serve as a metaphor for the moral and ethical guidelines Freemasons strive to live by. Understanding these symbols helps us appreciate the deeper values embedded in Masonic teachings and the way they promote personal growth and integrity. So, as we move forward, keep in mind that these symbols are not just tools, but powerful representations of the moral and philosophical foundations of Freemasonry. Welcome to our next topic, where we'll explore the fascinating world of Freemasonry. Freemasonry is one of the oldest and most well-known fraternal organizations in the world, with roots that stretch back hundreds of years. It's often surrounded by mystery and intrigue, but at its core, it's a society that emphasizes moral development, brotherhood, and personal growth. Members come from all walks of life, united by shared values and a desire to improve themselves and their communities. Throughout this presentation, we'll see how Freemasonry's principles connect to broader themes of tradition, influence, and social cohesion. Understanding Freemasonry helps us appreciate its role in history and its ongoing significance today. Let's take a look at the historical background of Freemasonry. It all began in the late 1500s to early 1600s, emerging from the medieval guilds of stonemasons. Over time, these guilds transformed into a broader fraternal organization that focused on moral and ethical teachings. You'll notice that the traditions and symbols of Freemasonry reflect this rich heritage and the philosophical principles it upholds. Moving on to the origins, Freemasonry didn't just appear overnight. It evolved over centuries, starting from those medieval stonemason guilds and gradually becoming more formalized in the 18th century. This shift mirrors larger cultural changes happening at the time. For example, the famous G symbol you often see stands for both God and geometry, highlighting the organization's emphasis on moral integrity and the pursuit of knowledge. Key figures played a significant role in shaping Freemasonry, especially in America. Leaders like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin weren't just prominent figures. They were also passionate Freemasons who championed ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Their involvement helped weave the core principles of Freemasonry into the foundation of the nation itself. Throughout the ages, Freemasonry has continued to develop, adapting and growing while maintaining its core values. Understanding this historical journey helps us see how it has influenced not only individual lives, but also broader societal ideas about morality, brotherhood, and enlightenment. Now, let's take a closer look at the symbolism in Freemasonry. As many of you know, symbols play a crucial role in conveying deeper meanings and teachings within the fraternity. The most recognizable symbols are the square and compass, which serve as central emblems. These tools are not just practical instruments. They represent moral and ethical principles, integrity, fairness, and the importance of moral uprightness. You'll also notice the letter G, often featured within these symbols. This G is quite significant because it stands for both God and geometry. This dual meaning highlights an essential aspect of Freemasonry, the connection between divine guidance and the natural order of the universe. It emphasizes that moral uprightness and spiritual awareness are intertwined with intellectual pursuits, particularly the study of geometry, which symbolizes order, harmony, and truth. Symbols in Freemasonry are much more than decorations. They are vital tools for teaching complex lessons. They help members internalize moral virtues and foster personal growth. Moreover, these symbols promote unity, creating a shared language and understanding among members. In essence, the use of symbols like the square, compass, and the G encapsulates the core idea that spiritual insight and intellectual development go hand in hand. They remind us that moral and ethical living is rooted both in divine guidance and a pursuit of knowledge, an idea that resonates throughout the entire Masonic journey. Let's take a moment to explore the meaning behind the square and compass, two of the most recognizable symbols in Freemasonry. When we see these symbols together, they represent more than just tools. They embody core principles of the fraternity. The square, for example, symbolizes morality and virtue, reminding members to act ethically and with integrity in all aspects of life. The compass, on the other hand, represents self-control and the importance of staying within moral boundaries, guiding us to keep our passions in check. Together, these tools serve as a visual metaphor for how Freemasons strive to balance their personal development, nurturing both their moral compass and their integrity. This symbolism ties directly into the broader theme of self-improvement and moral uprightness that runs throughout our entire presentation. It's a reminder that Freemasonry isn't just about rituals or history. It's about applying these principles in everyday life to become better individuals and, ultimately, better members of society. Let's take a moment to explore what these symbols really mean. First, the square. In Freemasonry, the square is more than just a tool. It represents morality and ethics. It's a reminder for us to act with integrity and fairness in everything we do. When we see the square, we're being encouraged to align our actions with universal principles, honesty, justice, and uprightness. It's like a foundational guide that helps us navigate our behavior, ensuring we stay true to our moral compass. Now, moving on to the compass. This symbol stands for self-restraint and boundaries. It teaches us the importance of controlling our desires and impulses. Just as the compass measures and limits, we're reminded to govern our conduct carefully. Whether in our personal lives or within our community, maintaining ethical limits is essential. The compass encourages us to be mindful of our actions and to practice moderation, ensuring that we stay balanced and disciplined. Together, these symbols, the square and the compass, embody core values of Freemasonry. They serve as visual cues for us to act with integrity, self-control, and fairness. By understanding their deeper meaning, we reinforce the overall theme of the presentation, that these tools aren't just physical objects, but guiding principles for living a virtuous life. Now, let's take a closer look at the letter G in Freemasonry. As you can see, it's often interpreted as standing for God or geometry. These symbols are quite meaningful, representing the divine connection that guides us and the importance of geometry in the creation and design of the universe. This reflects core moral and ethical values that are central to Masonic teachings. However, it's important to note that there are some variances in how different Masonic traditions interpret the letter G. About 24% of traditions emphasize the divine aspect, seeing G as a symbol of God, while others focus more on geometry, highlighting the importance of universal order and harmony. Additionally, some traditions encourage personal understanding and enlightenment, meaning that for different individuals, the G might symbolize something unique based on their own spiritual journey. These differing interpretations showcase the diversity within Freemasonry, influenced by different cultures and historical contexts. Overall, whether as divine guidance, universal order, or personal enlightenment, the letter G serves as a powerful symbol connecting members to higher principles and shared values. It's a reminder of the universal quest for knowledge, moral integrity, and spiritual growth that underpins the entire Masonic tradition. Now, let's delve into understanding the symbolic G. This symbol is more than just a letter. It carries a rich history and deep meaning. The G often represents growth, connection, and even the idea of infinity, depending on how it's used. When we see the G in various contexts, it can symbolize the foundation of a concept or the starting point of a journey. It's important to recognize that symbols like this aren't static. They evolve and take on new meanings over time. By understanding the symbolic G, we gain insight into how language and symbols shape our perceptions. This connection is key to the overall theme of our presentation, which explores how symbols influence our understanding of complex ideas. So, paying attention to these details helps us see the bigger picture, that symbols are powerful tools for communication and interpretation. Now, let's explore why the letter G stands for geometry in Freemasonry and why that's so significant. Geometry isn't just about shapes and measurements. It's a symbol of order, harmony, and the fundamental laws that govern the universe. It reflects a deep connection between the material world we see and the spiritual realm we seek to understand. For Masons, geometry is a guiding principle. It helps us organize our thoughts, build our character, and pursue personal growth. It emphasizes the importance of structure and balance, not only in architecture or design, but also in our lives and pursuits. Moving on to how this concept manifests in practice, the G in Freemasonry really highlights the role of geometry in our traditions. For example, in constructing our temples and tools, precise angles and measurements are crucial. They ensure stability and harmony. The proportions seen in our designs aren't random. They're carefully calculated to reflect beauty and order. Even the geometric patterns engraved on ceremonial tools serve as visual reminders of the importance of structure, balance, and the universal laws that guide us. In essence, geometry isn't just about physical form. It's a reflection of the moral and spiritual principles that underpin Masonic teachings. It reminds us that order and harmony are vital in all aspects of life, helping us stay centered on our journey toward enlightenment. Now, let's take a closer look at the significance of the G in Freemasonry. At its core, the G stands for God, symbolizing the divine presence that underpins Masonic teachings. It's a reminder to members of the importance of spiritual enlightenment and moral guidance, encouraging us to seek a closer connection with the Creator and to embody divine principles in our daily lives. Different Masonic orders interpret the G in various ways. For some, it clearly represents God and divine guidance, emphasizing the spiritual and moral aspects of the fraternity. Others see it as a symbol of geometry, which is fundamental to understanding the universe and the pursuit of knowledge. This diversity in interpretation actually reflects the broader focus of Freemasonry on personal growth, spirituality, and moral development. No matter how it's viewed, the G serves as a powerful symbol urging us to pursue higher understanding and to live according to principles that uplift both ourselves and society. It's a unifying emblem that highlights the spiritual dimension at the heart of Freemasonry. Now, let's explore the fascinating world of the letter G and its mystical associations. As you can see, the letter G holds a special place not just in language, but also in symbolism and spirituality. Throughout history, many cultures have connected G with concepts like growth, guidance, and even divine energy. It's interesting to note that G often appears in words related to these themes, reinforcing its mystical significance. This connection adds a deeper layer to our understanding of how language and symbolism intertwine. By recognizing these associations, we can appreciate how something as simple as a letter can carry profound meaning, tying into the overall theme of how symbols influence our perception and cultural beliefs. Now, let's explore how the letter G is viewed across different cultures. In many traditions, G isn't just a letter. It symbolizes powerful concepts like the divine, geometry, and the delicate balance between the spiritual and physical realms. Each culture interprets G through its own unique lens, which helps us see its rich and multifaceted significance around the world. For example, in some esoteric traditions, G stands for the divine, representing a connection to higher spiritual truths. In others, it embodies geometry, symbolizing the fundamental structures that underlie both the universe and our understanding of it. These interpretations reveal how G often functions as a bridge between the seen and unseen, the material and the mystical. Moving beyond individual cultures, it's fascinating to compare how the G appears in different esoteric paths. In Freemasonry, for instance, G is a symbol of geometry, highlighting the importance of order, harmony, and the divine architect behind creation. Meanwhile, in Gnostic traditions, the G often signifies God or Gnosis, knowledge that leads to enlightenment. Both of these perspectives underscore a common theme, a pursuit of deeper understanding and enlightenment. They remind us that across various traditions, G consistently points to the interconnectedness of the universe and our quest to uncover hidden truths. So, overall, the G isn't just a letter. It's a symbol rich with meaning across cultures and spiritual paths, reinforcing the universal human desire to explore and understand the mysteries of existence. Now, let's delve into the significance of the G in Freemasonry. This symbol is more than just a letter. It embodies the journey we all undertake toward knowledge and personal enlightenment. It stands for our quest for truth and wisdom, guiding us through ethical challenges and encouraging spiritual growth. When we see the G, it's a reminder that our path is about discovering ourselves and reaching higher levels of understanding. At the same time, the G also symbolizes guidance toward moral and ethical enlightenment. It encourages us to reflect on our actions, to apply principles like integrity and virtue in our daily lives. This reflection helps us grow personally and fosters a sense of responsibility, not just to ourselves, but to our broader community. As we think about the journey toward knowledge, it's important to recognize that this path involves both intellectual discovery and moral development. It's a continuous process, one that challenges us to improve ourselves and serve others. Now, I want to briefly mention two key steps in this journey. The first step is about seeking truth, being open-minded and curious about the world around us. The second step involves applying what we learn, ensuring our actions align with the values of honesty, virtue, and responsibility. Together, these elements shape our personal growth and help us become better members of our community, all while illuminating our path to self-discovery. Now, let's take a moment to address some common myths surrounding the G. There are quite a few misconceptions out there, so I want to clear up a few of the most persistent ones. First, some people believe that the G is overly complicated or only accessible to experts. But in reality, it's designed to be approachable and applicable for a wide range of users. It's not just for specialists. Anyone can learn and benefit from understanding it. Another myth is that the G is a one-size-fits-all solution. That's not true either. The G is flexible and can be adapted to different contexts and needs. It's a tool that grows with you, not a rigid framework. Also, some think that implementing the G requires massive resources or a complete overhaul of existing systems. But the truth is, small, incremental steps can make a big difference. It's about integrating it thoughtfully into what you're already doing. By debunking these myths, I hope we can see the G for what it truly is: a practical, adaptable, and accessible approach that can really make a difference. Remember, understanding and dispelling these misconceptions is key to leveraging the full potential of the G in our work. Now, let's talk about some common misconceptions surrounding Freemasonry. Many people believe that the G symbol, which appears in Masonic imagery, stands for God or geometry. While those interpretations are not entirely wrong, there's a deeper meaning. The G actually represents the great architect of the universe, a concept that emphasizes the divine and the importance of a higher power in our moral and spiritual lives. It's also important to clarify some of the myths out there. For example, many think Freemasonry is a religion or a secret society trying to control things behind the scenes. But in reality, Freemasonry is more about promoting moral values, brotherhood, and personal development. It encourages us to be better individuals and to build strong bonds with others. Now, let's focus on the G again, because it's a great example of how misunderstood concepts can be clarified. Some see it just as representing God or geometry, but in truth, it embodies both. It symbolizes moral integrity, the importance of living ethically, and the pursuit of knowledge. This dual symbolism highlights how faith and learning are interconnected in Masonic philosophy, guiding us to seek truth and act with integrity. Understanding these clarifications helps us see Freemasonry not as a secret or mystical organization, but as a path for personal growth rooted in moral and spiritual principles. As we move to slide 17, I want to clarify the true purpose behind the symbol of the G. Often, people encounter it and think of conspiracy theories or hidden agendas, but there's so much more to it. The G actually stands for two key ideas, God and geometry. Now, let's unpack that. When we say God, we're referring to a higher power, a moral and spiritual guiding force that inspires us to live ethically and with integrity. But the G also symbolizes geometry, which represents order, structure, and the pursuit of knowledge, fundamental principles in Freemasonry. This duality reminds us that our journey isn't just about spiritual growth, but also about intellectual development. It encourages us to seek understanding, discipline, and education as ways to elevate ourselves and serve our communities better. Far from any conspiracy notions, this symbol emphasizes moral living, acting ethically, fostering discipline, and promoting community. It's about striving for personal improvement and contributing positively to society. In essence, the G serves as a reminder that our path combines moral responsibility with a pursuit of knowledge, both vital for our growth as individuals and as part of a larger community. Understanding this helps us stay focused on the core values that unite us in the craft. Now, let's take a closer look at the significance of the letter G in Masonic rituals. As many of you know, the G is a prominent symbol within Freemasonry, but its meaning can sometimes seem a bit mysterious. Primarily, the G stands for God, emphasizing the importance of a higher power or divine being in Masonic teachings. It reminds members that spirituality and morality are at the core of their practice, and that reverence for a supreme being is essential. But the G also represents geometry, which is another foundational element in Freemasonry. Geometry symbolizes the order, structure, and harmony of the universe. It's a reminder that understanding the natural laws and the divine design is key to personal growth and enlightenment. So, when we see that G in Masonic rituals, it's really a dual symbol, merging the spiritual and the scientific. It reflects the balance between faith and reason, between moral values and the pursuit of knowledge. This ties into our overall theme of how Freemasonry seeks to elevate the individual by combining these elements, spiritual belief and intellectual understanding, guiding members toward a more profound comprehension of the universe and their place within it. In essence, the G isn't just a letter. It's a symbol of the core principles that underpin Masonic teachings: faith, knowledge, order, and the pursuit of truth. Now, let's take a closer look at the role of rituals in Freemasonry. These rituals are more than just ceremonies. They are vital practices that transmit the core moral lessons and values that define our fraternity. Through symbolic gestures, specific words, and allegories, these rituals help deepen our understanding of brotherhood, ethics, and personal development. One of the most recognizable symbols within these rituals is the letter G. It holds a special place, symbolizing both God and geometry. This duality reflects the spiritual and intellectual foundations of Freemasonry. The presence of the G reminds us of divine wisdom and the importance of moral structure, much like the precise geometry that underpins our physical world. In essence, these rituals serve to connect us to higher principles, fostering a sense of shared purpose and guiding us toward moral and spiritual growth. The G acts as a reminder that our journey is rooted in both divine understanding and the pursuit of order and harmony within ourselves and in the universe. Overall, these practices not only teach us about the values at the heart of Freemasonry, but also help forge stronger bonds among members, reinforcing the fraternity's enduring principles. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the key rituals that involve the letter G and what they symbolize within Freemasonry. First, in the entered apprentice degree, the G stands for both God and geometry. This dual symbolism is quite profound because it connects the divine to the very fabric of the universe and the principles that govern it. It reminds us that our moral and ethical teachings are rooted in a divine connection, guiding us toward personal growth and spiritual development. Essentially, the G here emphasizes the importance of moral integrity and the divine source of all creation. Moving on to the Fellowcraft degree, the G takes on a slightly broader meaning. It still represents geometry and divine wisdom, but it also highlights knowledge itself. This stage of the journey encourages Freemasons to seek enlightenment through study, reflection, and the pursuit of understanding. It's a reminder that growth, both intellectual and moral, is a continuous process. The G in this context inspires us to keep learning, to deepen our understanding of the universe, and to strive for wisdom that can guide us in our lives. Overall, these symbols tied to the G serve to reinforce the core themes of the Masonic journey: the pursuit of knowledge, moral development, and a connection to the divine. They remind us that Freemasonry is not just about rituals, but about cultivating virtues that help us better ourselves and our communities. Now, let's take a look at the G and its legacy. When we talk about the G, we're really referring to a concept or a figure that has had a lasting impact beyond its initial context. This slide highlights how the G has influenced various aspects of society, culture, or even technology, depending on the specific subject we've been discussing. What's truly important here is understanding that the G's legacy isn't just about the immediate effects. It's about how it shaped future developments and inspired new ideas. Whether it's through innovations, cultural shifts, or theoretical foundations, the G has played a pivotal role. Connecting this to our overall theme, the legacy of the G reminds us that influential ideas or figures don't just fade away. They leave a mark that continues to inspire and challenge us. It's a testament to the enduring power of impactful concepts and how they can ripple through history, shaping the world long after their origin. Now, let's explore what the G in contemporary Freemasonry really represents today. Modern interpretations tend to focus on themes like personal growth, morality, and the ongoing pursuit of knowledge. It's seen less as a literal symbol and more as a reflection of our connection to the divine and to one another. Essentially, the G embodies the idea that we are linked through both spiritual and human bonds, highlighting how adaptable Freemasonry is to contemporary ethical and spiritual values. Moving on, the influence of the G today is quite profound. It symbolizes both God and geometry, two concepts that might seem different but are deeply interconnected. This dual symbolism guides members through spiritual reflection and moral guidance, reminding us of the importance of living ethically and contributing positively to our communities. Ultimately, the G serves as a symbol that fosters unity and purpose among members and the broader society. It encourages us to reflect on our principles and to strive for personal and collective betterment, which aligns perfectly with the overarching theme of continual growth and moral development in Freemasonry. Now, let's take a look at how the G symbol has made its mark in popular culture. You'll see that it appears frequently in literature and media, often symbolizing knowledge, enlightenment, or guidance. For example, in Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, the G is woven into themes involving Masonic symbols and historical mysteries, which really highlights how secret societies are portrayed as influential and intriguing. You'll also notice the G in various films, where it often emphasizes the duality of secret societies, sometimes as benevolent guides, other times as mysterious forces shaping culture. Moving on to art and symbolism, the G often stands for divine geometry, representing a higher understanding of the universe, knowledge, and enlightenment. You'll find it in artworks that explore moral integrity and intellectual pursuits, reinforcing the core values associated with Freemasonry. This symbolism plays a significant role in shaping how the ideas of wisdom and truth are communicated to the wider public, influencing cultural perceptions of what it means to seek knowledge and moral clarity. Overall, these references, whether in stories, films, or art, serve to connect the G not just to secret societies, but to broader themes of enlightenment and understanding, which are central to the overall message of the presentation. They remind us that this symbol, while rooted in tradition, continues to resonate and evolve within popular culture today. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize the key takeaways from today's presentation. First, we've seen how the core concepts we've discussed are interconnected and how they form the foundation for effective strategies. It's important to remember that understanding these principles allows us to make smarter decisions and adapt more easily to changing circumstances. We also highlighted the significance of aligning our actions with our overall goals, ensuring that every step we take moves us closer to success. This consistency and clarity are what truly drive progress. Finally, I want to tie everything back to the bigger picture, how these insights can empower us to innovate, improve, and stay ahead in our field. Remember, the knowledge we've covered isn't just theoretical, it's practical and applicable every day. So, take these concepts, apply them confidently, and continue building on the momentum we've started here today. Let's take a moment to recap the key points we've discussed about the symbolism of the G. First, the G in the Freemasonry Square and Compass represents both God and geometry. It's a powerful symbol that embodies divine wisdom, which is the underlying force that governs the universe. This dual symbolism reminds us that morality and spiritual understanding are deeply interconnected. The G serves as a moral compass, guiding Masons in their pursuit of knowledge and truth. Understanding the significance of the G really enriches our appreciation of what Freemasonry stands for. It highlights how geometry isn't just a mathematical concept, but also a spiritual one, showing us the harmony between science and faith. Recognizing this interplay helps us see the teachings of Freemasonry as relevant not only in a spiritual sense, but also in personal growth and ethical living. In essence, the G encourages us to seek wisdom with integrity, reminding us that morality and spirituality are at the core of our journey toward enlightenment. As we come to the final thoughts, I want to emphasize the importance of encouraging open dialogue about Freemasonry. When we talk openly and honestly, it helps promote understanding and clear up misconceptions that often surround the organization. Discussing symbols like the G isn't just about the symbol itself. It's about creating a space for transparency and inclusivity. This invites curiosity and respect, helping others see the values and positive impact Freemasonry has on both personal growth and the community as a whole. Now, that G symbol is particularly interesting. It serves as a gateway, an invitation to explore deeper meanings. Some see it as representing geometry, which ties into the organization's appreciation for order and precision. Others interpret it as representing God, emphasizing spirituality and moral guidance. And it also points to personal morality, our own internal compass. So, this symbol encourages us all to ask questions, to seek understanding, and to continue learning about the values and teachings of Freemasonry. Ultimately, fostering this open dialogue and exploration helps build a bridge of knowledge. It invites others to join in a journey of ongoing discovery, self-improvement, and shared values. When we promote that curiosity and respect, we create a more inclusive environment where everyone can appreciate the true essence and impact of Freemasonry. Thank you all for being here today. I want to take a moment to express my gratitude for your time and attention throughout this presentation. It's been a pleasure sharing insights and exploring the fascinating world of Masonic knowledge with you. As we wrap up, I encourage you to continue your journey of discovery, whether through reading, listening, or engaging with these ideas more deeply. Remember, our collective pursuit of wisdom and understanding is what truly fosters growth and connection within our community. Once again, thank you for your interest and participation. I look forward to seeing how you apply what you've learned and how it influences your own path. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep striving for enlightenment.